watching Notes and Nine.
Hello, and welcome to Notes 9. I'm David Leedy. Episode 193, Force a User to Log Out in X Pages. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Okay, this is my first show for MW Lug. I did a presentation with like 7 mini Notes and 9s, and this is the first one, so here we go. So what we want to do is we want to force a log out. Many banks do this. It's just kind of common over there after, X amount of minutes or so. They say, yeah, we think you're gone and we want to secure your data in case anyone comes to your machine. And this comes directly, absolutely directly from Steve Zavocki's blog post. So he had this great blog post and he had a great comment by Daniel. I'm not going to pronounce that name right, so I'll just say Daniel, who provided more information. And I do want to point out that's how sharing works. You blog something, maybe there's a better way to do it. The best thing that can happen is someone will tell you how to do it. There is no negative to sharing information. There never has been. Unless, of course, your boss would fire you for that, but hopefully that's a very rare case. But that's the only negative. And I do want to remind you that session scope is not user scope. It's really more like browser scope. So for instance, if you are using session scope variables and someone logs out, but the browser does not get closed, the browser stays open, and then somebody else logs in, those session scope values that you may have set from user 1 could and probably do still exist for user 2. That could be a security issue for you, so just be very aware of that. I'm not really addressing that in this demo. I just thought this would be a good chance to mention that fact. So there. Okay, so the way this works is in your database, and you could use a separate database for this, but you set anonymous access to be no access, but you allow read public documents. And then what you have to do is you have to create a classic domino page, not an X page, but the old style page. And you might need to switch your Eclipse, your DD perspective to even be able to see those view design elements. So if you're using the X pages perspective, you can't even see those design elements. You have to go back to forms and views to see that. So you create this page and you set that available to public access users. And then you put your message in that we logged you out because you left us or whatever, and maybe a link back to the home page or whatever you wanted to do. And if you do put a link back to the home page, that link has to be in pass-through HTML. That's old school stuff, which I never really got into, but that's how it works. And again, you could use a different NSF if you wanted to. If you wanted to just make sure that there's no anonymous access at all to your main database, just redirect them to another database to hold that. And then all you need is a code on the page, and if you want on every page, you can add it to a custom control or a nav bar or something like that. And then there's a script library involved in that. Okay, so with all that being said, let's go to the demo. Okay, so like I said, this demonstration can come basically directly from this blog post by Steve Zavocki. And not to be missed is inside this blog post was some good information by Daniel over here. He made some modifications to it, to the information. Then I, added a comment. And my comments never work on Steve's blog for some reason. So he was graciously just kind of edited the post with what I did. I did a little thing different to, I think, to determine the path in case the database is in a nested subfolder or so. So let's take a quick look at it and see what it looks like. If I click on a force user logout on this page is under the scenes and client side JavaScript is code running that's going to log us out. And I have it just set for like 15 seconds or so I should hopefully see it pop any moment here. Oh, there it goes. Okay, good. So that's how you know it works, and I'm not fibbing. Okay, let's just take a quick look at more tools and developer tools and just get up the little console here just to see again. There's really not going to be too much to see here. I only have it on this one page here or so, but you can see that I've computed I'm just printing out the final path of what I have, and here it's pointing to this open page, this session expired open page. And that's not an X page, that's an old classic page. So we're going to look at that now, as a matter of fact. Okay, so let's close this, and this is the page. There's really nothing to it. I have just this link, a little jumbotron for Bootstrap or so. And the bulk of it is on the on-client load. I've just got this code, again, directly from the blog post. I have a little comment here that says, 1 minute equals 60,000 milliseconds, and right now I got just set for 15,000 milliseconds. And on this, there's a resource here, this client-side JavaScript utilities. And if I click on code and script libraries in here, so that there's just a little function in here, that basically makes it work. And how it all works and all that stuff, I don't know. It's client-side JavaScript, but it's cool and it does work. So what you could do is if you did want it on every page, you could move, this on-client load to something that is on every page. A lot of people have a layout custom control, or even if you had a nav bar, you could probably dump it in here if that nav bar was going to be on every page. So that's up to you. And for bonus points in here, if you can, compute how long this is and pass it in based on username. So if there's somebody you don't like, maybe you give them a really short number and everybody else a long number. Then they call it, you say, hey, it works for me. So anyway, that's just a thought. Let's just take a quick look at, if I remember how to do it, open perspective, forms and views. This page I had to make, session expired. So again, I just threw this up in here, and remember, this is pass-through HTML. I never did much with classic Domino web design, but that's that if you want to have a link and stuff in there, that's what it needs to be. And again, the database was set to anonymous with allowing public access people. Applications access control. So to read public documents. So no access, read public documents. And this page somewhere, and I can't tell if I remember where it is here, available to public access users. Okay, and that's your demo. And that's the demo. I thank you for your time. And if you did see this in the presentation for MWLUG, I thank you for being there. Here's my contact information. Happy coding.